It's a great pleasure to address the SemiconIndia Conference 2023, and I do so focusing on the subject of India's role in critical and emerging technologies. Where India itself is concerned, I think most of you know as well as I do the expected growth of the domestic semiconductor market. You're also deeply familiar with the steadily expanding production of electronic products in the country. It is a natural outcome of the journey of India from being the fifth largest economy currently to the third largest, which is our current goal. Our strong interest in expanding this aspect of manufacturing is reflected in the modified SemiconIndia program, which provides appropriate fiscal incentives. This too is a facet of a larger endeavor to promote manufacturing in India, articulated by the Make in India initiative and the vision of an Atmanirbhar Bharat. A more self-reliant India will ipso facto also be more self-reliant in semiconductor production. Similarly, an India that is seeking to enhance both the quality and quantity of its exports and become more deeply embedded in global value chains will also necessarily focus today on the semiconductor domain. Friends, there's been a wide range of global interactions as well on this very subject. Notable among them is the MOU on Semiconductor Supply Chain and Innovation Partnership that was concluded between India and the United States during Commerce Secretary Raimondo's visit in March 2023 to India. It sought to establish a collaborative mechanism that would represent a productive intersection of America's Chips and Science Act and India's semiconductor mission. During Prime Minister Modi's recent state visit to the United States in June 2023, semiconductors was also the focus of the talks with President Biden and his team. As you would be aware, the two leaders chaired a technology roundtable with the brand names of industry present on that occasion. The joint statement, which was issued at the end of the visit, highlighted this aspect of our cooperation. Three American companies, Micron Technology, Lam Research, and Applied Materials, made specific comments that have been the subject, I believe, of your deliberations as well. Now, it is essential that these developments are viewed from a larger perspective of India and the United States, building a technology partnership for the future. India's entry as the latest member of the Mineral Security Partnership is surely worth noting, given the importance today of diversifying and securing supply chains in that area. Similarly, cooperation between the two countries has been a visible tailwind in the sphere of advanced telecommunications. Even as India's 5G rollout unfolds and starts to gather momentum, it is noteworthy to seek Bharat 6G and American NextG alliance co-lead research. Launching open RAN deployments and participating in the US RIP and Replace program is also something worth noting. This collaboration today extends to new initiatives and additional domains and can be expected to grow steadily in the times to come. We see that, for example, in space, where India signing the Artemis Accords and promoting stronger ISRO-NASA collaboration is a sign of the times to come. It is visible too in the creation of a joint Indo-US quantum coordination mechanism. The innovation handshake between Indian entities and the National Science Foundation holds much promise, and so does the Indus-X Innovation Bridge in defense technologies. Now, earlier in May 2023, the leaders of the Quad grouping. The Quad grouping, you are all aware, comprises of India, US, Japan, and Australia. The leaders of the Quad grouping agreed at their meeting in Hiroshima on principles of critical and emerging technology standards. This inter alia supported industry-led, consensus-based, multi-stakeholder approaches. It endorsed technology standards that promote interoperability, competition, inclusiveness, and innovation. The intent was to foster technology standards that support safety, security, and resilience. These voluntary principles were meant to assist governments and organizations to develop appropriate standards, and it is clearly the Quad's expectation that many other nations would join us in that regard. Japan is another significant partner in this particular domain, and my meeting just this week with Foreign Minister Hayashi affirmed the priority that both of us attach to it. Just this month, we concluded a memorandum of cooperation on semiconductor supply chain partnership. It is expected to promote semiconductor design, manufacturing, equipment research, talent development, and industry resilience. I should also mention the other Quad partner, Australia, because of their salience when it comes to raw materials, critical minerals, and innovative research. Do note that we have an ongoing critical minerals investment partnership with that country. Now, this is by no means an exhaustive list. In fact, very frankly, I cited it because these are good examples of an impactful illustration. Critical and emerging technologies, I must tell you all, is today an increasingly important subject of conversation with many key partners. With the European Union, for example, we held the first meeting of the Technology and Trade Council, where I participated along with our Commerce and Industry Minister and the Minister of State dealing with electronics. And I should say that the EU actually has this mechanism, TTC, only with two partners, with the United States and with India. Critical technologies also find due mention in the Horizon 2047 vision document that was issued at the end of Prime Minister's recent visit to France. Now, having described the global cooperation landscape in some detail, allow me now to share some of my thoughts on the relevance of critical and emerging technologies today in international relations. To begin with, it is an intrinsic element of the knowledge economy that is steadily unfolding. In fact, if you think about it, one of its primary characteristics is how deeply it embeds technologies in a manner that profoundly influences all aspects of our lives. Now, if the very nature of our economic and social activities undergo a transformation as a result, then it is not surprising that CET, critical and emerging technologies, CET should now emerge as one of the most important metrics of power. Who invents? Who manufactures? What are the market shares? Where are the resources? Who has the skills? Where is the talent pool? These are now the increasingly crucial questions in the global arena. Now, some of you would have heard the term chip war. I think perhaps the depiction of a chip war may be somewhat overstated, but it has more than a fundamental kernel of truth. To a considerable extent, concerns in the CET field are influenced by how market shares and production dominance was leveraged in other areas. Because remember, technology trade is not just trade. It is as much about political science. The truth is, we are seeing the re-emergence of export controls as a response to strategic assertions of economic strength. How to do business needs to be tempered with where and with whom to do it. This today matters even more because of our recent experience with the COVID pandemic and the stresses that this induced in the international economy. We all woke up to the realization of the serious over-concentration of production in different domains. Whether it was disruption, whether it was manipulation, or whether it was simply transactionalism, the final outcome was similar in terms of generating an anxiety about reliable, resilient, and redundant supply chains. In the political world, there is already a debate underway on the downside of globalization. But in the technology and manufacturing worlds, this is a reality that cannot be reversed. The objective here is to optimize globalization, not deny its reality. If we are heading for an era of re-globalization with many more centers of production, one which is clearly much more collaborative than in the past, where we do not see that kind of over-concentration anymore, then you understand why it is so important that India has stepped up at this point of time. Our semiconductor mission is not just about meeting domestic requirements. It is also about contributing to a global demand for trusted manufacturing. Indeed, it is truly a powerful case for make in India and make for the world. Trust and transparency are also today key issues as we debate the future of the digital domain. Who processes and harvests our data is increasingly crucial in a world of artificial intelligence. Nor indeed can we any longer separate even basic manufacturing and everyday commodities and services from their data implications. As political democracies, as pluralistic societies, and as market economies, we all have understandable concerns of both privacy and of security. It is therefore essential that those of us who are comfortable working with each other enhance our collaboration. Another relevant factor here is the mismatch between demographic supply and workplace demand. The pace of change that we are witnessing when it comes to CET will also create an accompanying upheaval when it comes to the required talent pool. Here too, India can make a significant difference to the global economy, particularly so as the changes in the last decade in India are creating the infrastructure for stronger skill development, for greater technical education, and for a more vibrant innovation culture. So, my message to all of you is reflect on the larger repercussions of the particular domains that you are concentrating on technologically. Your decisions and your relationships have implications far beyond your immediate business. It would contribute to re-engineering the global economy, adding to its stability, to its security, to its resilience. It could create new practices, and I would say even a new ethos for a global workplace. It could unleash the talents and creativity of those who will now get connected to contemporary vehicles of progress. Your presence here today is a statement of the impact of the Modi government's good governance policies, of its making it easier to do business, of its Gati Shakti infrastructure initiatives, and of its promotion of ease of living practices. I am confident that day 3 will be as rewarding and productive as the earlier 2. Let me conclude by conveying my best wishes to all participants. Thank you and namaskar.